Hey everyone, welcome back to Nortman Reviews, and we are in phase 3 of the Age of Apocalypse read through, reading all the issue number 3s of the titles. We are now looking at Factor X, formerly X Factor from the main universe, right? And we're reading these in an order as suggested by the Marvel app, the digital app. Because a lot of these issues one runs into the other, even though like number 3 and number 3 they may even come out in the same month, but you want to read this before so and so issue and all that kind of shit. So where are we? I've been enjoying this title more so than others. I didn't really read it as a kid. I only had the first issue, so it's been kind of fun reading this one, and I like seeing what's going on behind the scenes of the villainous side at Apocalypse's Citadel, where Beast is evil, Cyclops, he's not evil. He turns out to be the good guy of the series. That's not really a surprise. Havok is kind of evil. I mean, kind of evil. He's really evil. But we just see all that kind of shit. And so Cyclops, he's the head of his particular group or his team. Havok fucking hates him. Beast is like this genetic scientist, and he just does these kind of torturous experiments on people. And in the last issue, you see that Cyclops had been freeing prisoners from what they call the pens, like just these prisoners that Mr. Sinister and Beast were using experiments on. And Cyclops had been freeing people, and he did it with Lorna Dane last issue. So, but now I really like this cover. It tells you kind of everything you need to know. And there's Jean Grey suddenly. Last time we saw her she was in Weapon X he goes by Wolverine, Weapon X, but I only call him Wolverine. She had left him, even though they were, romantically involved, because she wanted to stop, come and warn the United States about what's going to happen, because there's a big Sentinel armada going to come and nuke New York. And, which supposedly the humans are hoping will kill Apocalypse and all these guys. But she can't bear that thought. So that's why she's around here. So we'll see her show up. So we start off this scene, and there's this fucking crazy monster thing. It talks about a California grizzly being crossed with a Bengal tiger, and that's kind of some of the experiments that Beast and these guys have been doing. He's ripping through these infinites. Oh, it's known as the kennel, not the pens. A squadron of infinite soldiers is just getting fucked up by this thing. It escaped somehow, I guess, and it's just causing all kinds of chaos. And as it's ripping through people, Havok shows up. He blasts it, tears it apart, or blasts it, knocks it down. And, he's like, why do I have to do this? Havok has, a little bit of a superiority complex. I'm better than everyone. But he's fucking jealous as fuck of Cyclops, and he does not like him. And he found out at the end of the last issue, from afar, through whatever means, through binoculars or whatever, that Cyclops had been freeing prisoners, right? So that's the kind of information he needs to, move up in his seniority or whatever. So he's kind of talking shit here about, let's see. Well, Cyclops is talking about this one of McCoy's mongrels. Someone needs to talk to the good doctor about that. He's like, yeah, you want to talk about responsibilities. Where were you when North Star and Aurora were put down in critical condition? You don't know anything about that. He's like, no, but that's a lie. It talks about it, explains it here. Cyclops is the one that put them in critical condition. Kind of cool motorcycle. I mean, it makes sense with it's the same basic shape and design of any other motorcycle that would work, but just a little bit more technologically advanced. Kind of cool design. I like it. Both these guys are riding around on that shit. So he's kind of just being a dick. He's like, hey, I know something, and you don't know what I know, but you won't like what I know. And he's like, what? But this fucking crazy monster thing is still up and at him. Up and at him. Up and at them. Sorry. Slashes him in the back. Cyclops shoots at him. Tells him to get out of the way. He's like, oh, I don't need your help. He's like, yeah, well, you got it, little brother. The fucking monster jumps And he has he word bubbles to himself. He has a clear shot, but he's hesitating because he's tired of death, and he feels sorry for this thing. But he can't, a conscience will get you killed, is what Sinister always told him. Sinister was their father in this world. And he shoots him, and it just describes here how at this close range, the optic blast basically cuts it into quick and merciful death compared to the unending suffering of its life. Steve Epting is the artist here, and I've been kind of enjoying his artwork. He knows how to put in a lot of details and backgrounds. I was kind of going on about Joe Madden, how he doesn't, and I wasn't giving him shit about it because his art is so good and you enjoy it so much you don't really notice. But he likes to put in a lot of details in some of these backgrounds. I mean, kind of. There's just a lot going on in these. He's not like a Brian Hitch or anybody, but he knows what he's doing. But you also see that it's also Terry Dodson, some of his early work. Terry Dodson's a pretty good artist. He's known for drawing voluptuous women, one would say. But we'll see some of his art as we go on. And so they're still talking shit to each other, like, you're going to find out, I promise. And he's thinking to himself about how all he sees is hatred in his brother's eyes. And he's talking about how he was proud to be a soldier of the Ascension. He believed in the superiority of Homo sapiens superior, basically mutants. But he's like, now it's just cruel, and there's no virtue in the oppression of the weak. He's like, he'd been trying to like save as many as he could, the ones that he feels could make it. But he's like, there's so many, like it's hard to keep up with everything. So here we cut to a wagon. It's like a payload or a supply drop or something like that. And as he there's some bags in here with shit on hangers, I guess. But somebody knocks him the fuck out, and it's Jean Grey. Why she uses a fucking pole to knock him out when she probably could do it with just her mind. And then she uses unconscious body to make it seem like she's his prisoner. Couldn't she just, I don't know, telepathically control him to do that anyways? And what's with this tattoo? I guess it's cool. Whatever. But here we're suddenly at Terry Dodson art, and we can definitely see the change. But he's still he's in his early stages of his career, and he gets a lot better, but he's still pretty damn decent. One would say. I mean, that's cool, like with the shadow from the plane and everything. Good perspective. I like it. So, she's going through, and she starts feeling this pressure, and there's these three brains called the Brain Trust, and they're like disembodied telepathic brains that they have hooked together that kind of keep all the prisoners in the kennel under guard, telepathically keeping them, what's the word? Sedated? Yeah. So it's giving her a headache because it's telepathy that's doing it, but she's a telepath, so it's hurting, but she's able to resist it. The pressure's gone, but she really can't use her powers to control this guy while that's going on. So she dumps the load. And she's walking. She's talking about how she's trying to find Mr. Sinister. There's a little bit of a flashback, and I think this was in X-Men Alpha, where it introduced Jean and Wolverine as an item and as a team, as a couple, and they had met with Mr. Sinister, and he was giving them information. So that was the first time you see Mr. Sinister going against Apocalypse. And so since she knows he was doing that, she wanted to come with him to warn him to see if he could help stop Apocalypse in whatever he's doing, so humans wouldn't feel that they needed to do what they're going to do, I guess. Somewhere. Oh, yeah. She's also talking about how she misses Wolverine, Logan, Weapon X, whatever. Waltz into hell and back, but she left him. let's see. So then she's confronted by some fucking animal, a wolf of some kind, and she zaps that. And then she gets, I don't know, she's talking about something here, it doesn't matter. And then she gets shot from behind. There's Havok. And he's like, oh, it's my lucky day. He wants to bring her because he knows that Cyclops has been like fucking obsessed with her. So he's happy. So he's like, I wish Wolverine or Weapon X was here with you, but whatever. So he takes her off. And then we cut to the nightclub called Heaven, run by Warren Worthington, Angel, because it's Heaven, Angel. And he has this human singer named Scarlet, not of G.I. Joe fame. She's just a performer and entertainer, but she had been sleeping with Havok, and she had been secretly getting information from him and giving it to the Human High Council. But here she's talking about how she's not feeling too great, kind of feeling a little nauseous. And she's like, don't let this be what I think it means. Which, yeah, it actually, spoilers, it is. So, but then you got these two guys, these brothers, the Bedlam brothers. The characters in this comic were all siblings, like the main characters. You got Havok and Cyclops, you had Northstar and Aurora, you had the Guthries, and then these two guys. I don't know of them before this, but they're these two brothers, and they're kind of nice dudes. They're more on like Cyclops' team than others, where the Guthries like fucking hate Cyclops. They want to do away with him. And they're nice dudes, and they're kind of friendly with her, but they're on official business, and they have to take her into custody because she was named as a spy. One of their bartenders, whose name was Karma, she had been taken before the Shadow King, who telepathically probed her, and Scarlet was named as another culprit or another spy. So she runs off. She's fucking scared. But this guy uses his powers to kind of a psychic static assault, drops her, and she's okay, but she's fucking freaking out. They're like, this isn't personal. We thought it'd be better if it was someone you knew. She's yelling at Angel, Warren Worthington, and he's like, you don't turn your back on me. And he's like, does Alex know what's going on? Does he know what you've done? Or is he, no, he's saying that to him. He's like, well, he's head of security. He's going to find out sooner or later. And then like, but you got to watch out for yourself because, it's Karma, now Scarlet. Angel has been giving information out too, so he's been working with the humans and with the X-Men and all that kind of shit. So he needs to watch out for himself now. So down in the pens and the kennels, Havok and Cyclops meet up, and he's like, yeah, I know you're a fucking traitor, give it up, and you're fucking out of line. He's like, not this time, follow me, I've got something to show you. And like, look what the cat dragged in, and he's like, oh fuck, Jean Grey, there she is, all locked up and all this mechanical shit, and Beast's there doing his beastly shit. She's resisting his neural stimulus. He's just having a good old time torturing and trying to get as much information. And, Cyclops here is kind of stunned. He hasn't seen her since she left. He's been kind of obsessed with her, like I said. Haunted him. This woman whose image has haunted him since their first encounter. And then it goes into another flashback. Goes back to Terry Dodson art. This is Terry Dodson. This is Steve Epting. Back to Terry Dodson. Of when there was a battle with Magneto. He prevented her escape. Mr. Sinister here, he was fucking happy. He was ecstatic, it says. He has the second blueprint for what he called his trump card. He has Summer's DNA and Jean Grey. And he used their DNA to make X-Man. Nate Summers, who's basically Cable. He was waiting for the right genetic makeup to create a weapon against Apocalypse, which is X-Man, which we're seeing going on in that book, right? So it's like there was something about her, and he was going to... Let's see. Cyclops was saying he was basically going to free her. he was contemplating the unthinkable, returning Jean Grey to her friends because he was so in love with her, just even from afar. But Wolverine fucking burst in. He's like, it would have gone as planned if he hadn't shown up, and these two eventually came across one another. And they're, they've never shown it, but that's when Wolverine fucking took out his eye, and that's when he took his hand. And that explains all that shit. So Cyclops, Havok here, he gives him a, he's yelling at Cyclops for being a traitor. And she's kind of covering for him. Like, are you insane? Like, he's no friend of mine. He's not with us at all. Like, he fucking took out Wolverine's hand. Like, I'd fucking kick him in the balls if I could. And he's kind of covering. She's like, he's covering for me? What, does that mean she wants to suck my dick off? No, Cyclops, it doesn't. And he's like, it doesn't matter. I have a recording of you helping that crazy Dane woman escape, Lorna Dane. And that probably wasn't the first time. And Jean Grey, through this conversation, realizes that this guy is not so bad. He's not evil like everyone else. And there's the Guthrie, Sam, and whatever her name is. And they're like, wait for the signal. And Havok says, if I'm wrong, prove it, execute her. And he says no. And Havok basically gives the signal, says Guthrie, and here comes Cannonball, hits him from behind. Yeehaw! Smashes him into the wall. Cyclops, I know, right? If you want a piece of me. And then Elizabeth Guthrie, a megamorph who can increase her size and mass proportionally, grows big, hits him down, beats his ass down. Cool shot of them. He's like, everything I have, like he had, is now mine. I'm in command. He promotes these guys from rooks to prelates. And he's like, what are you going to do with your brother? It's like, I want him to suffer. So he gives him to Beast here. And he's like, cool, I get 2 guinea pigs. It's like, even with one eye, you should have seen this shit coming. Beast doesn't like Cyclops either. Cyclops wanted to shut his ass down. So, here we go. Later. Beast is doing a shit to both of them now. There's a lot of words going on, but basically, and it took me a second to realize, like, what order am I reading this in? But you go here, you go down here, even though it's covering both pages, then you go back up here. You kind of have to follow the words this way, back up here, and follow, like, how it goes from here to there. That's the direction it's leading you. And she's talking here where she has this inhibitor collar that's supposed to suppress her powers, right? But I guess for whatever reason, I'm unclear with this, she's able to make it move a little bit. Inch by inch, she's able to eventually get it off. Take off this fucking thing. And once she does that, she uses her powers to take off his optic blast, his visor. And as soon as he opens his eyes, fucking shoots Beast right in the fucking stomach. No! And then she uses their powers to free both of them. She's like, I knew there was something about you. There's something different. I need your help. He's like, you want me to openly rebel against Apocalypse? And he's like, I made that choice the moment I met you because you have such a fine rack. So he's like, why have you come back now? Basically, we're going to stop. Before Apocalypse goes them into pushing the button, we're going to liberate the pens or die trying. Okay. So then this final page, there's Apocalypse yelling at this dude Rex. He's just sitting in fire all the time. He's yelling at something. He's going to be going into attacking the X-Mansion here, but it doesn't say anything about it here. So is the reading order right? Who cares? But he's basically saying, I hear that brother succeeded brother. Havok is in command. That's fine. He's like, take a message to the new commander. The breeding pens, the kennel, was a bone thrown to Sinister in return for his services. Since Sinister defected, the pens no longer serve my needs. They'll be shut down immediately. All prisoners will be cold. Let the weak perish, the strong survive. This has always been the way of Apocalypse. So that's what they want to. They want to stop these guys, but now they're gonna, they need to free all the prisoners, but now they just want to fucking exterminate all of them. So that sucks. So that's the end of that issue. It's cool that Jean and Cyclops are together. I kind of wish he hung around more in the Weapon X book. It's like any chance Wolverine has to get with her, it's always taken away by this little fuck. But whatever. Cool stuff. So that's it. Hit that like button, please. It's a big help. Please comment on what you are thinking of these comics. What's your favorite series so far? Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Put in the comments what other comic book you would like me to look over at some point in the future as soon as I'm done with Age of Apocalypse. I have some stuff. I kind of want to get into some DC stuff. We'll get into it. But yeah, any help would be very much appreciated. So thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next video.